Good morning and howdy, friends. Hey, I survived the hardest freeze that we've ever had here on the Texas Gulf Coast. Time will tell how well the camper survived it. My water well survived it good. I uh, have the water well inside of a well house, and I have the storage tank and the pipe coming up out of the ground wrapped very well, and it's been wrapped very well for a long time. I never have to worry about it freezing. Plus, I have a heat light that I put in the overhead light fixture of the well house whenever it's going to freeze hard like this. And I boarded up the entrance to the well house. The door was ripped off after the flood for some reason, so I have never put a new door back on, but I did get a full sheet of plywood and screwed it in place before the freeze. And the water well survived fine. It's working good. The line going from the water well to the house and to the camper is fine. It's well insulated, but the water in the camper is frozen. So it's the pipes inside the camper that froze. Last night when I went to bed, which was probably around 9 o'clock, I don't know what time it was. I have been so busy and running around trying to get everything taken care of. I didn't notice what time, but I took all of the blankets, all of the bedding off of my bed and put it on the couch. Uh, I don't know why. I guess because it's so cold in the bedroom, but it was cold in the living room too. Anyway, I slept sitting up on the couch probably 2 or 3 hours. I didn't sleep a lot, but when I last checked the temperature inside the camper, it's 28 degrees. That's 4 degrees below freezing. It was cold in there. It got down to 7 degrees outside last night. I don't know how cold it got inside the camper, probably down in the lower 20s, but I don't know. I do know it was 28 degrees last time I checked the thermometer inside the camper, right up on the bookshelf above the couch where I keep all my Bibles and study materials and so forth. I stuck the thermometer up there so I'd know what the temperature was right where I was sitting, and it was 28 degrees. This morning, before the sun came up, but about, just before the sun came up, Odie boy hopped down off the couch to go get a drink of water. It wasn't his breakfast time yet, but he was thirsty, and his water dish was frozen solid inside the camper. So that shows you how cold it got in there last night. And it was full. It was a big water dish, and it was full, and it was frozen solid. I had some bottled water that for some reason it was not frozen, so I poured some on top of the ice, and he drank that. And then as it started thawing out, I broke up the ice, and he's got water to drink now. It is 19 degrees right now outside, uh, and it almost feels like a heat wave. I never thought I would say 19 degrees feels warm, but it feels warm compared to what it was yesterday. It was miserable yesterday. There was snow and ice all over the place, not thick, but I have never seen so much ice in my life. Even when I lived up in northern England and the travels I've done to Germany and Switzerland and uh, Finland and uh, Sweden and Norway, I've seen a lot of ice, but not as much ice as I saw here the last couple of days. And there's still ice on the porches and so forth. And actually, it's all gone off the roof of the house now. The house was covered with ice, but it's all gone off the roof. But on the porches, they still have a lot of ice. The snow is just about all melted. There's still some over by that uh, enclosure I made for the tropical plants, and there's some scattered around different places, but most of the snow is gone. There's some right there. I'll scoot this around so you can see it. Right there, still a little snow, but for the most part it's gone. I'm looking forward to summer. I haven't made my bed back up yet. There's a bedspread which is quilted. There's a quilted quilt and 3 throw blankets that had thick, heavy fleece on the backside of them, plus this Carhartt insulated jacket that I haven't taken off in 3 days. I've got underneath all of this is my flannel pajamas that I've been wearing for 3 days. I've got jeans on top of them, and I've got a sweatshirt on top of it. There's my, I don't know if I can get it up here enough for you to see or not, but there's my red and black check pajamas. I haven't changed clothes in 3 days. These are warm and don't have water to shower or brush my teeth or anything, so I feel like an old hillbilly out in the country. And I haven't shaved. I'll sure be glad to have hot water again so I can shower and shave and change clothes. I got on 3 pair of socks. Yesterday morning it was so cold that my left toes were hurting bad. I mean, serious pain. Just my left toes, nothing else, just my left toes. And I took the 1 pair of socks off that I had. It was a thick, heavy pair of socks, but I took that off and looked, and they were as bright red as that shirt. Just the toes, not the foot, just the toes. And so I started moving them around and exercising and everything, and I put on 2 more pair of socks, three thick pair of socks total. And I went in the house and got my heavy, thick, insulated work boots instead of just my regular leather work boots. And these things, I've been wearing them ever since. I slept in them last night, sitting up on the couch, and I haven't taken them off. They're heavy, but they do keep my feet very warm in this cold weather. So I've just been doing whatever I had to do to survive. So can an old man survive camping out in 7-degree weather with no electricity? I didn't have electricity for 36 or 38 hours. I got a good heater that'll heat that whole camper, but without electricity, it does no good. Yesterday I did decide to cook a pot of beans, not because I was hungry, not because I wanted beans, but because it would take 2 or 3 hours to cook the beans on the gas stove in the camper. I don't worry about carbon monoxide because that thing's got so many leaks that if there was carbon monoxide, it would leak right out. Plus it's got a carbon monoxide detector in the camper. It has never gone off, and I cook in there all the time, so I wasn't worried about carbon monoxide. But you know, the 2 or 3 hours it took to cook the beans, I don't think it lowered the temperature. I mean, raised the temperature in that camper more than 1 or 2 degrees. It was cold here, y'all. It was cold, and it's still cold. It just doesn't feel the bitter cold like it was when there's snow and ice everywhere. And maybe just looking and seeing the snow and ice might have messed up my mind. I don't know, but it was cold. I was miserable. I was literally miserable all day yesterday and all night last night. I did make a video yesterday, but my internet has been totally dead. It is dead most of the time today, but occasionally it does work, so I am going to try to upload both videos today. The fuel pump on my truck has gone out. I am dead in the water. I can't go anywhere. It won't start. I did a video of it, me trying to start it. I didn't know what was wrong. It's turning over fast, turning over real fast. I've got a less than a year old battery in it, and it's a big, powerful, expensive battery. I didn't know what was wrong. I sent it to a friend of mine who has a mechanic shop in town, and he said it's my fuel pump. $800 for a new fuel pump. Plus I gotta, I guess, hire a tow truck to tow it into town. Friends, right now $800 is like $8 million to me. I don't have 80 bucks, much less 800. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I need the truck. I've needed the truck today and I don't have it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I got no idea. I just pray, pray. That's all I can do. I need my truck. It's the only vehicle I got. And my birds don't have food. A friend was going to bring me bird food from town. And on the way to town, she had a bad seizure and had to go to the emergency room. Her husband was with her, and he took over driving, got the car pulled over the side of the road, and they switched places, and he took her to the emergency room, and she's okay now. She said she used to have these seizures often years ago and hadn't had one in over, I think she said 12 years, but had one going into town yesterday, and so I never got the bird food, and the birds are hungry. I feel sorry for them. I don't have anything to give them. I had two bags, two big 40-pound bags of bird seed, but those big black grackles or whatever they're called, they have moved in. Thousands of them have moved in, and they're fat. My redbirds and robins and whatever else I got, finches and so forth, they need the food. Those grackles don't, and those grackles will empty a bird feeder in half a day or faster. And I just wish they would go away so my pretty birds that I feed every year could eat. But I've rambled on so much here. Let me stop all of that and get to reading. I've got several things I want to share with you, but I'm just going to do one at a time. And right now it is Proverbs chapter 16, and it's not real long. The preparations of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. I've been telling y'all that, referring to politics. Everything is according to God's plan, even what is evil. And here it says, the Lord made all things for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil. So we are getting very, very near the day of evil, and God is setting things in motion for that day. Continuing on, everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. By mercy and truth, iniquity is purged. By the fear of the Lord, men depart from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. Excuse me for leaning over like the Leaning Tower of Pizza. My back is killing me and my legs. All right, continuing on. A man's heart deviseth his ways, but the Lord directeth his steps. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment. A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of the bag are his work. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. The wrath of a king is a messenger of death, but a wise man will pacify it. In the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver? The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. Understanding is the wellspring of life unto him that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. There is a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. He that laboureth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is as a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. A violent man enticeth his neighbors, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things, moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. That, my friends, was the 16th chapter of Proverbs, and it is jam-packed full of good stuff. May God bless each one of you abundantly as you meditate on these words from God, our Savior. If you don't know God personally, if you don't have an intimate relationship with Him, if you do not fear the Lord, I plead with you, today is the day of salvation. Time is rapidly running out, and I am serious as a heart attack when I say that. God is setting evil in motion for, as He called it in Proverbs, the evil days. The evil days are upon us. Evil is about to be turned over as ruler of the world. Just prior to that will be the rapture of the church, the true Christians who are still on earth. The dead Christians who are in the graves will rise first, as the Bible teaches us. Right after that, those of us who are still alive will be raptured out of here. We will meet Jesus in the air and go home as His bride, home to heaven as His bride. And then we'll come back with Him to earth at the end of the 7 years tribulation. He will create a new earth for us, an earth that He will be king of for 1,000 years. I am so anxious for the rapture, to be home with my Jesus. I love this place out here. Even when it's 19 degrees out here, I'd rather be out here working than inside sitting on my butt in the camper or doing anything else. It looks like the freeze got everything. I don't know about my fruit trees yet. I haven't checked them. The grapes look good, and I'm hoping the fruit trees will be. I just don't know. But all the vegetables I still had in the ground, they look like they're toast. Or actually, they look like they're icicles. But time will tell. They're all root crops. Maybe they will be okay. The tops of them don't look too good. And I had covered them with thick hay, so I thought that might protect them. Maybe it did, I don't know. I'll check them in a few days after there is no more freeze. Right now, I'm just going to leave them alone. All right, y'all, I'll see what I can do to get yesterday's video and this video uploaded. And y'all pray for me that God somehow handles the situation of the fuel pump for my truck, because I need my truck. I don't put many miles on it. It's got low miles for as old as it is. But when I need it, and I don't have it right now. It's sitting in the driveway. It just won't start because the engine likes to drink. The engine is a heavy drinker. It's the 5.7 liter Hemi, and it likes to drink. It can't drink when the fuel pump's not giving it anything to drink. So I need help. I just don't know how the Lord's going to do it. I got no idea. You know, this COVID mess made me lose 2 of my 3 sources of income, and that hurts a lot. Hurts a lot. And situations that arise the last 16, 17 years has got me broke financially. And it seems like I just get pounded over and over and over. The flood, you know, cost me a fortune, and I have not been able to rebuild. So I live in a camper that freezes when it gets cold. I gotta go. I've been here too long. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all stay warm. I know a lot of y'all are in a lot colder places than I am. Y'all stay safe, stay warm, stay cuddled up close to God. Let Him keep you warm. Let Him keep your heart warm. Love you.